Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Boom, baby. Happy winning on Wednesday. What is going on, Insurance Syndicate? You know what time it is. It is 9 a.m. Central. We are here live in Austin, Texas at the Syndicate HQ. You can tell I have somebody a little bit different than Tony Merwin sitting next to me today. We're excited to have him on. Happy winning on Wednesday. Real quick, y'all, if you can, let me know in the comments that you can hear and see us. What's going on, Victor? What's up, Lily? How are you? Go ahead and start dropping those weekly wins in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate you. I don't care how big or how small. Again, happy winning on Wednesday. Thank you, as always, for y'all tuning in. Like I said, I obviously don't have Mr. Merwin sitting next to me. So real quick, as everybody's kind of starting to join in, Andre, go ahead and just introduce yourself, man, and kind of give them a 30,000-foot overview of just who you are and kind of what you're about.
First of all, I'm hyper impressed by this setup that you have going on here.
Thanks, sir.
But thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm based out of North Dallas. Been in business for myself for 26 years now. Done a lot of different things, from custom menswear to pressure washing and now financial services. The number of things that I've done that have failed is far greater than the things that have actually worked. But thankfully, financially, we're on the up end. But yeah, man, based out of North Dallas, got involved in financial services and final expense insurance in 2021. No, I'm sorry, 2020. And now Godspeed is off and diversifying, and I'm excited to be here with you.
Love it, dude. Love it. Well, thank you for taking the time, man. I just got to meet Andre literally in person for the first time yesterday. So it was like, oh, dude, we were going to talk some shopping, grab some breakfast. And I was like, oh, crap, I got winning on Wednesday. And so we were very honored to have him join us live here within the studio this morning. Y'all, we have an action-packed show. Before I get going, as always, shout out to Viva Virtual Solutions. Thank you all so much for being the main sponsor of the show. Thank you for everything that you do within the Insurance Syndicate. Shout out to Lily Davies, who is, you guys see her in the comments and dropping the links. And she created our TikTok and our Instagram, and she publishes and edits and clips all this stuff up to make us look good. So shout out to Viva, and then shout out to Rob Lopez. If you guys are in the market for a virtual assistant, it was crazy. I was talking with some friends of mine, some agents yesterday. And literally like, dude, this is the problem, and here's the solution. I was like, well, let me just call Rob real quick and see if he can hop on. Literally, I call Rob. He hops on in the next 2 minutes. Boom, virtual assistant's placed. We're getting something up and rolling. So, again, shout out to Viva, man. You guys are amazing. I love everything that you guys do. Thank you again for being the main sponsor of Winning on Wednesday. Y'all, real quick, before we bring our guest on, you know what time it is. It's Winning on Wednesday, y'all. I told you earlier, go ahead and start dropping them in the comments, but it's time for those weekly wins. Drop them in the comments, y'all. We want to be able to celebrate you. Andre, I'm going to have you kick us off, man. What is a weekly win for you, my friend?
Yeah, I didn't even know I was sharing a win until 2 minutes ago. But last night, kind of serendipitously, we closed out round one of our capital raise. And it was actually one of my longtime best friends that decided that he wanted to go in deeper on the investment. So we closed out our first round. So we're going into round two. And to keep it rolling.
Yeah, dude. Love it. Well, we're going to get into that. Y'all, you guys can see in the comments. So we've got Andre joining us, but we've got one of my freaking favorite people that's hopping on. It's been a minute since we've had him here within the insurance syndicate. He technically runs the annuity syndicate too. We don't have a lot of traction over in that group quite yet, but we're going to bring it back maybe. But y'all, I'm really excited to have our guest on. The guy is just a stone cold freaking killer in the annuity space. We were talking last week when we were catching up, just what they're doing on that side of things and how much production they're putting through. He literally paused what was it? I think it was a $500,000 account just to hop on and go live with us here now. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and give a nice warm welcome to my man, Mr. Ryan Cicchelli, the guy that has a zoo. What's going on, Ryan?
That's right, man. That's right. What's up? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Thank you for being here, man. I know you're busy. I know you're, like I just said, is $500,000 account?
Yeah, 500,000 in New York. We were rocking and rolling, and he had more questions. I said, boy, I got to jump on this winning on Wednesday. Let me call you back at noon, which is my only availability until about 8:00 tonight.
That's
so
good, dude.
Yeah, dude. So we'll get it. He was super happy. It's funny. You tell a client, hey, I got to jump on this podcast winning on Wednesday. I'm going to talk to a bunch of agents on how they can do more and achieve more and this, and this guy's like, who am I talking to? It works out good.
The annuity expert.
That's right. Wait till he finds out I own a zoo, right? Then I'll be like, okay, what's going on?
Well,
So man, thanks for having me on though. I appreciate it. I love being on here. I miss your face a ton. It's been a minute. I'm excited to in 2025 get to some events together.
Yes, dude. Yes, absolutely. Oh, we got some comments here. We got Mr. Fiera. What's going on? Mr. Todd Wilson. What's going on?
What's good, buddy? See ya.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Ryan, real quick, man, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, that doesn't know that you own a zoo and watch zebras run around your backyard, give them a little bit of who Ryan is, maybe a little bit of your backstory, because I think there's a lot of testimony behind that. There's a lot of power to that, which kind of has propelled you into the success that you're having.
Yeah, man. So I'll try to keep it pretty simple. You know, I've been very blessed in this space. Right now, I'm about to clip 40 million in annuity premium, my pen to paper this year. My team does another 20 million on their own. And then we actually, just to plug in our, little winning on Wednesday moment, win of the week, we've actually perfected this week, really our pipeline. So we're averaging $1 million a day in annuity business. So that's nuts, man. So it's absolutely nuts. We're going to the stratosphere is our goal. But man, I started from nothing. I started doing this back in 2008. Got my start in an internship with Merrill Lynch, a downstairs company called American Senior Benefits. Was always recruiting me, thinking I was some big shot advisor. I was a coffee getter. I was nobody. And so I went down and worked with them, and I learned insurance, man. I learned health. I learned life, and then the advisors ran all the annuities, and they split the commissions with the agents. And we took that model and we started our own agency in Cadillac. Pre-COVID, we had 25 agents. We were doing really good. And I was just kind of outgrowing that company. And so I wanted to go on my own. For any of you guys in a captive space, I got the shit suit out of me. So that was super pumped. That was sweet. Settled for a couple $100,000. And but the win is after I settled, right, and we got past it, our company just exploded, right? So we knew we were outgrowing that company. We knew that company was holding us back. We knew that paying that, essentially they got us for servicing a client that passed away. So, captive agencies can be ugly. So if you're in captive agency, guys, I'm sorry if you're owners, but treat your agents right. And if you're agents, make sure you understand all the rules. So, but now, dude, COVID really exploded. We do 99% of all of our annuity production is virtual. Like I said, I'm gonna finish out the year right around 40 million in annuity premium. About 5 million of that was in person. I'm not against in person. It's just, the Zoom has really created, and what COVID did really created like a way of the future to have older people or even younger people with old 401ks open to the idea of a virtual advisor. And right. So, we kind of lean on the 17 years I've been doing this, the credibility in the space. We've perfected our system. And now, man, now not only do we have the annuity side of things, but we also we launched our Moving Millions in Minutes training platform. So that's been launched now for 60 days. We've taken on about 300 agents to the platform in 60 days. And so it's been wild, man. It's 2025 is going to be insane.
Gosh, and it's already here, dude.
Oh man, I know.
Like, dude, what? And also 40 million, bro. Like, I feel like the last time we were talking, you were doing like 10 million. So you just like,
I think last year I did 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
nasty. Well, so real quick, and I want to go back to what you said, and Andre, definitely feel free to hop in and just chop it up and ask questions
yeah.
and or maybe provide any insights on that. Ryan, I want to ask you this. When did you know it was time, right? You said, man, I could tell that we were going to outpace and outgrow this company, right? And let's maybe even remove the company or an upline or anything, like just you as a business owner, like what was that tipping point of like, okay, hey, like we're ready, like, and we're getting ready to take this to the next level. I'm outgrowing where I'm at. Like, what were the signs there or the triggers that it's okay, hey, time to pull the trigger. Let's get it.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is they made it seem like everyone was doing at this time pre-COVID. I was doing about 12 to 14 million a year. And they made it seem like every agent does that. Like these weren't good numbers, and they were like, you should be happy with your ad. You should be happy with, the commission you're getting. I would win events to like go to Equitrust or go to Athene, their things. And the agency would be like, we're just too busy. We can't let you go. And so what happened is I ended up going to an Equitrust one in Napa Valley. I took the wife, we went out there and I was like the top writer in all of Equitrust. I never knew that. And so I got to meet Magic Johnson. He's the owner of Equitrust, which is super cool. And now
really?
I've met him.
Yeah,
I've met him multiple times now. It's super cool, man, when you get to meet someone like that. Like I walked up last time and he's like, hey, Ryan. I was like, oh, he knows my name. That's so dope. So, but anyways, when I was there and I was networking with these other agents, they were doing good numbers. But this one agent, Tyson, a good friend of mine, he just said, Ryan, I do half what you're doing and I make 3 times more than you. Wow. And I was like, what? And so I understand that there's a point of a captive agency. I understand that there's a lot of success. I understand that a lot of agents need to be in a captive agency. I'm not shitting on captive agencies. I'm just saying that you have to do what's right for your agents. You have to let your agents grow. And if you're an agent in a captive agency, you have to understand that what they're giving you, right? To some degree, they're giving you guidance, knowledge, contracts. Like they're doing a lot for you. And so I just knew when I was hitting that limit of like, I felt like I was at a ceiling and they were really holding me down. And as I was trying to find out what else was out there, they were just kind of keeping me in this bubble. And once I got out of it, just leaving my contract. So I was getting paid, guys, on $12 million, I was getting paid around 3.5% in annuities. And so like, if you're in the space, like industry average is like 5.5 to 6. So, and there's more above that, right? So the agency was making essentially 2 times commission I was making for writing all the business. And so it was just frustrating. And I won't, again, I had a bad experience. Not all agencies are like that, right? I have captive agents to this day, and we just work into their things that they have, we have no holes. We have release at any time, right? So, and I believe in that because I went through that process. It was super terrible. But I also know, and I don't want to misspeak, but I think Merwin does some on the captive side. And I believe, our boy Pete does some on the captive side, and they do phenomenal jobs, right? And so there's nothing, again, I don't want to shit on the captive side. that was my experience.
Right. What are your thoughts on that, Andre?
Yeah, a lot of times the scariest thing to the people that own the companies is that you realize how good you are.
That's right.
Because then you realize they understand that that you don't need them nearly as much anymore. So
yeah, and to piggyback on that, one thing that I've lived by is a Tony Robbins thing is, you train them so well they can leave you, but you treat them so well they never do, right? And so I think that's just so important. Like I know that when my agents have a tremendous amount of value, like I want to bring them up with me. And I was actually just talking to an agent we have in the office now. I said, at some point, you might get to a spot where you're like, Ryan, I don't want to run 12 annuity appointments a day. I want to do 3 because there's good money in annuities, right? With our system.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we give him like the permission he can go and do his 3. But for now, while he's in training, he's doing 12 a day.
Right.
You know what I think is interesting is whenever it's almost like you had to disclose that you weren't shitting on captive, right?
Yeah.
And I think part of the problem with our industry is that everybody just believes that their way is the only way and the right way. And, there's some people that need to be captive. There's some people that need to be LOA. I think part of the reason why, Cody's been able to build a platform on a 92% failure rate in our industry is because people sign up. And one of my favorite quotes is everybody wants the crown. Nobody wants the thorns. So you get people that get sold this idea of making $50,000 a month selling insurance, but they're not built to sell $50,000 and take all the risk and make the investments or whatnot. So I think it's interesting that you felt the need to disclose that, because in our industry, you almost do, because you don't want to offend people. And man, I just came into this industry and I'm so agnostic. It's like whatever works for the agent works for the agent. Whatever works for the business owner works for the business owner. And hopefully whatever works for the business owner also works for the agent. And whenever that's the recipe, then I think there's a lot of success for everybody in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we can go down this road a little bit on the captive side, but we have captive agents here, and I don't think captive's bad by any means, because they do need it. They need the structure. They need so much. Right. But I have a super unique model. Andre, I know this is our first time getting to meet each other, but I have a very unique model. It's a pay-to-play model. Like, you can't come to my agency. I won't contract you unless you do our mentorship program for $10,000. I just won't do it. And the reason is because agents and everyone that's on this, don't hate me for this, but historically, in my view, agents are a pain in the ass. They take a lot of your time. They bring a lot of hypothetical scenarios that don't exist but might exist someday, but they need to be ready for it. It's like, get out of here. And so where some agency owners are like, oh, agents, I need more people. Like, I've always, like, in the annuity space, we kind of tell, like, everyone. I actually was just telling Dan, an agent we have in, I'm like, dude, this is the NFL. Like, we are the professional annuity writers of this industry. Like, we don't mess around. We're doing this on a high level. And so I don't want agents that aren't ready to commit. And so if you come in and you say, hey, I don't want to go through the mentorship program and get contracts and pay the 10 grand, well, that's great. We have a referral program where you can refer the business to us. We write the business and train you along the way. And right now at this very moment, with our programs that we have 22 agents spending between $2,000 and $5,000 a month in the program, and I'm running all of those leads. And we're closing business every day with agents that they're buying leads. They're not part of my team. We don't have contracts with them, and I'm doing real-time live annuity training. And the goal is they use us for 90 days, and then we split commission the whole time. And then after 90 days, they have enough knowledge, or a decent enough, they can go run on their own. And I had one guy, it was funny, he called me mad, and he goes, hey, you've been working with my agent. My agent said he's made like $40,000 with you. I haven't received any overrides. And I was like, well, dude, we market our company. Like, we work with agencies. Like, we can work a deal with your agency, but I worked with your agent. And so he was pissed, but I was like, I let it go. You know what I mean? We don't have no contract. And so he was a little mad. He called me back 4 months later and was like, I'm so glad my agent worked with you, because now he's our top annuity writer and I have his contracts. And so it's a win-win for everyone. This industry is so big that like there's ways for all of us to have synergy. That's why Joe and I hit it off so well. Other than, we like to have a drink or two. It's like, what kind of synergy can we pull together?
Right. I think, you hit the nail on the head here. And obviously I'm in the PNC side of things. So it's way different than how people operate in the life and health side. But for us, it is, you got to pay to play. And I get this from Coach Burt. Ryan, I know you're close with Coach, man, people pay for what they value, man. Right. Yeah. And I can't help you till you commit, but once you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. And when somebody is willing to invest, and I think that's the big piece, right? And it's so funny when you have those initial calls, they're like, especially because I'll go through and they see all the value of doing business with me, right? And they're like, oh shit, I want to sign up, man, let's go. And then it's like, well, you got to pay first. And it's like, they instantly shift. Even though I have all the gold and the value and the solutions and everything that they want, they instantly shift to an expense mindset versus an investment, man. You have to invest in yourself. And dude, the best way to start that off is investing in your business, right? Especially when you're getting going too. Now, again, it's definitely different on the PNC side. I like that you said that. Real quick, Ryan, we did have a request. And I do want you to bring it up too, because it's good. And I know you get a little vulnerable, but and then I do want to talk about leading from the front. Guys, this dude is literally writing $40 million on his own pen. He don't need to be, he's got agents, he's got people that but he is still leading from the front. I love that about you, Ryan. But we do have a request from Mr. Merwin. I want to hear the garbage truck story. So you're going to have to tell the garbage truck story. I love this story too. Yeah,
man. So this is, so I got to think what year, 2018? No, 2013. So 2013, I was a young, dumb adolescent, right? I was making $120,000 a year selling insurance. I don't know how far I get into this story sometimes because I tell it on stage quite a bit, but I always try to keep the swearing to a minimum to help you guys out. But anyways, I was out partying, having a good time, and I got a DUI in 2013, and I went to jail, and I got out, and I again was working in insurance still, and I got out, and literally the next day, like that night, I get out and I go out drinking again. I got another DUI. So I got a DUI one day, a DUI the next day. When I got out the third time on bond, I had daily PBTs. And I didn't go to any of them. I was just, my head was up my ass so far, it was insane. And so I didn't go to any of them. And my probation officer calls me and says, hey, I need you to come in. I got to talk to you. So I go in and they arrest me like right away, right? And they gave me 90 days in jail. It's the only time I've ever been in jail. It absolutely sucked. It blew. And I did 90 days. The scariest part was thinking that my 3-year-old son wouldn't know who I was when I got out. That shit, you know what I mean? It chokes me up because my family's my entire world. And you look back at this young kid that I used to be, and I'm like, God, I beat this kid's ass. Like, who was this guy? And so, but that 90 days in jail taught me patience. And then I thought I lost my insurance license because of the DUIs. And so I went and I worked on garbage trucks for a summer at Best Trash. Matt gave me an opportunity, and I went there. I got paid $12 an hour, and it sucked, man. It was like it absolutely blew. I would, in the hot summer days, I only did it for one summer, but I would be greasing garbage trucks and having maggots fall on me, and it was terrible. It was gross, and I wasn't making any money. And I went from making $120,000 to making I don't even think I made $30,000, right? And so I walk out, and I've had it, man. I had it. I was on Indeed looking for another jobs, and I was like, I'm not super religious, right? So I walk out, and I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna get real with God for a minute. I was like, if you give me a shot to get the fuck back into insurance, I'll never mess this up again. And lo and behold, I literally turn around, and Matt Gunnarsson walks in. I dropped his last name on accident. Matt walks in. He goes, Ryan, wrong place, wrong time. You're fucking fired. And I said, oh, Jesus, that was abrupt, right? So I go home, and I get home, and we live in this tiny little 1-bedroom house. I have twin boys, and my son at this time is 5. And my girlfriend, which is now my wife, this is 12 years ago, April's home. And I go home, like, hey, what are you doing at home? She goes, I got fired today from Ruby's. I said, you got fired today? She's like, yeah. I goes, I got fired today too. And she's like, oh, this is not good. And this is a long time ago, but so I was like, all right, well, we need to do whatever we can to get my insurance license figured out. And so I looked online, and I knew I had to retake the course. So we study. We're taking this course. We study. I'm like, I'm going to get my insurance license back. I did an application, and they replied back to me saying, like, I'm super dyslexic. So it probably said you're already licensed, and I just didn't read it. So I'm like, all right. So I scheduled my date to go in to take the state exam again. I go in, and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm here to take the state exam. I did this a couple years ago. She goes, you're a licensed agent. And I was like, what? And so I was licensed that whole time. I didn't know. So I got a job with the agency that I ended up parting ways with. And then I just never looked back. I like, this is it. And I had that rock bottom moment. I did the jail thing. I learned from my mistakes. It was terrible, man. And to this day, we've done a lot of different things. We have the zoo, which we're very blessed to have. We over 300 exotic animals. I don't know if you saw, we just gave birth to our first albino wallaby.
I saw that.
Super cool. Yeah, super cool. My wife's really excited. It's a little boy. So 300 animals. It's completely private. Right now, we're not open to the public, but it's amazing, beautiful spot. It cost me just if you guys follow this on Facebook, it cost me $300,000 a year to run. There's no money coming in, and my wife is a setter for me. And so she says she contributes to my income because she sets appointments, but she keeps me working pretty big because I have a $300,000 zoo bill to keep my wife happy. And you would think she would be a little more grateful. But anyway,
hey, careful. April's in the group, dude. She gonna see this.
Yeah,
careful, man. She gonna send that spider monkey that's living with y'all on you, man. Did you end up doing that run with the spider monkey? Did you take the monkey out there with you?
No, I was gonna take the monkey out there because it's super bonded. It can't leave. You know what I mean? Like it's glued. Like, so if you see it, it's super social, but it's like really glued to April. And I was gonna take it out there because I thought, really, and this is just me, I'm being very honest, I was gonna take the wife because the wife was gonna take the money, and I knew Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer were gonna love that monkey. So like I had a back plan a little bit. But April's like, no, the monkey's too young. It can't go. So I didn't take the monkey out there.
That's funny, man. I love it, dude. Well, dude, I think there's just so much power to that story, man. And I think, even you're sitting here talking about the animals in the zoo and what you guys are doing to, how you're using insurance to fuel the passion. I talk about it all the time, and you don't have to be passionate about insurance. I am in turn passionate about insurance because everything I love to do, I get to do in insurance. Therefore, I'm passionate about insurance. But I say it all the time, not to beat a dead horse, is Dude, insurance ain't sexy, right? You don't have to be passionate about insurance. You just have to have the understanding that insurance is the best vehicle to get you to whatever you are passionate about, right? Even if that's a 300 animal exotic freaking zoo that's literally privately run, not even open to the public, not driving revenue, literally just, bro, I love animals and we love rescuing, right? And like all the things you guys are doing there is awesome. I was telling you last week, I was like, I got to get my freaking kids up there because I know my daughter Laura would love that. We do have a comment here. Wow, man, I appreciate hearing real stories of success with a backstory like mine. Sarah, thank you for that comment. I feel like we all have that backstory, right? Or we all have something there that kind of is that moment, right? Or that catalyst. For me, some people know my story. I'm pretty vulnerable with that too. I've done my time as well. And I say, it's pretty cliche, but insurance kind of saved my life. It was, all right, I got out. And I had to do multiple kind of stints because I was just being nothing crazy, but I was being an idiot and drinking and underage or whatever, smoking. And, it obviously started to kind of compounded like our renewals, right? But it compounded over time. It's like, man, I had to do my time. And I remember it was, all right, I'm either going to get out and I'm just going to go do construction again. And I'm probably just going to do the same thing that I do every time, which is you go work, you're 7 to 5 or whatever, just the BS labor. And then you start drinking and then you just do it over and over and over again, right? Or it's, I could go get this internship at an Allstate office in St. Louis. Never lived there, never been in insurance, right? I'd been around it, but I'd never been in it. And then here we are over 10 years later. I've never looked back, right? What are your thoughts? Or I guess kind of just when you hear him talking about his backstory, I got to hear a little bit about your backstory last night. What are your kind of thoughts on that? Break some of that down.
Yeah, I think the bottom can be the beginning if you choose for it to be. There's just, Ryan, you chose for the bottom to be a catalyst to greater things for you. And some people don't make that decision. They just allow themselves to be in that position and they just stay there. They don't have the guts or the mental fortitude to be able to climb out of it. So I love the fact that everybody has a story. It's just that some people choose to win and some people don't. So I love hearing that. My question to you about your business. So you've seen, like, you've grown over 70% from last year. What do you attribute that to?
Just investing back into our business. So like now, the big thing is we know our niche. I'm not doing IULs. I'm not doing, I do fixed MIGA and index annuities. I'm not doing life insurance. I don't do anything. We have referral partners we work with, but we've really dived back into the social media marketing aspect of it right now. Because we have a great team on the development side, we're averaging 150 agent leads a week, and we're spending roughly around $300 a week in advertising. So it's nothing. Our cost per acquisition is like $3 a lead. And then on the annuity side, we just launched on the annuity side, the 401k rollover we launched. So I have about 35,000 a month in there that agents pump money into that they're referring for us. And then we run about $10,000 a month on our own dime, and we're building out our own leads right now. And then plus we use a couple of lead vendors. And so understanding the leads and building our own leads internally now, it's going to be a game changer, man. Like I almost, and I don't want to get too dark on this. I wish my buddy Josh was on, because he would, I almost partnered with a guy in Nashville. Good guy, nice guy, hated Trump. So I'll stop dropping hints. But anyways, I almost partnered with him. And I absolutely am so blessed that I didn't partner with this guy and let money kind of, dictate our path, because his goal was, and a great guy again, but his goal was 100 million doing it this way. But I gave up a lot of equity in my company. We've already had multiple offers on our company. We've defined those offers because we know there's a bigger road. So like now though, I didn't take this guy's money. I didn't bring him on as a strategic investor. Now we put the money in ourselves. I've had to, put about $500,000 in out of my pocket, but the sky's the absolute limit. So I think here's the biggest thing, guys, is a lot of people don't have the confidence in themselves to invest in themselves. Like I'll invest every dollar into leads because I know I can close leads. Like if I was broke tomorrow, I would just get leads and I would make money. And if I couldn't buy leads, I would learn how to build leads. And so it's the confidence piece that a lot of people have to get. And then once you get confidence, you have to turn that confidence into clarity for clients. You can't be a confident agent with clients. You need to turn confidence into clarity. And then the clients will want to work with you. Our training system is called Value is the New Close. And so, but by providing value on a very high level and allowing the client to make a decision to partner with you, I'm never selling, right? I'm just educating them on where they are and where they should be and what tools they could utilize to put in their investment toolbox to have a better portfolio. And so, you got to be dedicated to what you're doing. You got to dive into it. You got to not think you're the best at it. You got to put that, that Kobe time in, because we live, eat, and breathe this shit. Like, I'm super dumb on a lot of things, right? I'm way dumb on a lot of things. I just paid like $3,000 to have my Escalade brakes done twice, because I didn't know what I was talking about when I asked the dealership to fix stuff. Right. And so, but this is my spot, and this is the spot where I shine. And so I just poured this. And again, insurance isn't sexy. What's sexy is when you get so good that it's almost like an art form to work with the client and to overcome an advisor and to show, like your credibility, knowledge, and all the time you put in, you let that show on a call. And it, like a lot of agents, they'll do 5 or 6 sales with us and they'll go on and they're like, man, I can't replicate it to a T. And it's like, man, I have 17 years of doing this. Like, there's no overnight success, right? And so the other part of that then is patience. Agents have to be patient with the process. Like, if a big problem agents have, and the reason my marketing works so good is because the big problem agents have is it's shiny and it's quick, right? And so they come to it in droves. And that's not the reality. The reality is it takes time. You have to learn it. And unless you partner with someone that's an industry leader, you're not going to have X results. It just doesn't work like that. So anyways, I digress, because if you let me talk, man, I'll be here all day.
Oh, no, keep going.
You know what that reminds me of? Like, I think the guys that and gals that are elite in any business, those are the guys that want the ball when the clock's winding down. Like, they have so much unshakable confidence in themselves. Like, I saw Kobe in your intro here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kobe always wanted the rock. That's what made him different. Like, he had no doubts that he was the best person on the court to have the rock whenever the game was on the line. So whenever you talk about investing in your own business, Ryan, it's like you have to have this mentality that you are good enough to know that you're the person in the business that deserves the investment, because nobody's going to multiply it the way that you can.
Yeah. Right. Well, so let's break that down one level deeper there. For an agent that doesn't have the confidence, right? That can't hop on a call and just know that, dude, if you put a lead in front of me, I'm freaking closing it and I'm going to make some money, right? Maybe let's speak to the struggling agent. Like, what would be your advice or words of encouragement almost, Ryan? And we had somebody drop in the comments here. Michael, good to see you, Michael. This is an extremely encouraging episode. So some words of encouragement to the listener is how do they build the confidence if they lack that, right? Or they just don't have it, or maybe they're just new. So they just haven't had the success yet to have the confidence. Or do you have the confidence outside of how much you're selling? Like, how did you kind of build that up, Brian?
Well, yeah, I built it up through a lot of failure, right? Like, I know everything that's right now. A lot of people are like, man, you always know what's right. In this scenario, it's like, because I've done what's wrong 1,000 times, right? So like, I'm getting this figured out. No, I think the biggest thing is you have to lean on someone that's already confident. I tell agents, and if you don't have to work with us, find someone in the annuity space, but like, you lean on our confidence in the space. You lean on our credibility in the space over the last 17 years. When you're looking for an upline, when you're looking for a mentor, my first mentor was YouTube, right? My first mentor was literally YouTube. Back before Grant Cardone was all blown up, I watched his sales videos. And there's a couple really old, like that, like, you got a smartphone. No, if you don't got a smartphone, you got a dumb phone, like old Grant videos, right? And YouTube was my first mentor. And so, if you guys, like, if you're new in the space, you're trying to find new people, like, getting onto this stuff is obviously super powerful, because you're getting introduced to new people, right? Getting into these events, like, and learning from some of the speakers. Like, every event we go to, the speakers are on stage for a reason. If you have the ability to work with those speakers in some way or form, like, Coach Burt and I, we've had our ups and downs and loves and fights and all sorts of stuff. But, I met him and I was like, this guy is someone I have to get with. And I was like, how do I work with you? And he was like, $12,000. And so I was like, take it, dude, because I have, and that's changed the directory of our life. Right. Mm-hmm. And so go to the events. You'll see me at way more conferences than I was last year, because we were just busy. This year, we're getting back into the conferences a little bit, get around good people, get into syndicates like this, follow these people, because, like, as you're choosing who you're going to work with, you want to be where they are. I see so many people, like, and I know that we're in a space of, like, Facebook gurus and blah, 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 but you can see through that shit. It's not hard, right? It's like in 10 minutes of looking at someone on social media, like, it's not hard to be like, this guy's full of it, right? But you wish them all the best. Fake it till you make it, sure.
Right.
Just look for mentors that are past that point, right? And so, and especially with IMOs, be careful. FMOs, IMOs, their job is to get you, contracted. And after they're contracted, is their level of service where they said it was going to be? And if it's not, hold them accountable, right? I know so many people that have mentors, and then those mentors or uplines, because upline to me is the same thing as a mentor. It's supposed to do the same shit. And if it doesn't do that, then you should be able to go on and find something else. So you just have to find people that have already done it, that are, and find ways to connect with them. And a lot of time, guys, I use money as a tool. I spend over $100,000 a year investing in myself, not my business, and myself in relationships with other people like Rob Luna, like Coach Burr, like Brad Lee, right? With all these people, because your network is your net worth, right? And so that's so important. And so you have to get money to invest. And if you don't have it, this is the easiest way. How can you make the most money in insurance the fastest way? You find opportunity. You partner with a guy named Ryan Cicchelli. We'll write your business, split commission 50-50. You have 20 grand before you know it. And then, so it's just so simple, right? We took an agent the other day, FFL agent. He bought leads for 30 cents leads. He got like 40 of them, worked them, closed one, took the commission from the one, bought annuity leads where I told him to buy annuity leads, got 10, partnered with me on all 10. We sold 2. He just re-upped his annuity leads for $2,500 when he was buying 30-cent leads. And he bought the Moving Millions a Minutes training platform. And he's like, dude, I just closed one. The problem is the dedication to do it, right? Like, oh, I got $1,000 commission. I'm going to go buy a PlayStation.
Right.
Right. So, but if you're serious about reinvesting in yourself, then do it. And it literally can start with 30-cent life leads.
Mm-hmm. That was the biggest turning point for me. Now, how I was able to shift my mindset, we're talking about mentorship. I got in the right room, right? I met a Cody Askins, and Cody just changed so much in my business, and really more so just how I thought about it. Everything was an expense. Like even a 30-cent lead. Oh shit. I don't know, man. Like, I'm spending money. It's an expense. Right. And it's
going to be a garbage lead anyways. That's what they say. It's going to be 30 cents. It's going to be garbage.
Right.
Call it the damn lead.
Right. Anyway. But it really was. And you've met my dad. We struggled with that, man, where everything was an expense. Now, as soon as I got in that room with Cody, and it still was an expense to get there, but it was kind of like that, oh man, he's calling my cell phone and he invited me to this Power Players retreat. It's the first of its kind. But that changed everything. It's literally how I got to meet Merwin, really. Yeah. And he's like, wait, what? You're from Austin? I was like, yeah, I'm in Austin. He's like, where at? And I was like, I'm in Cedar Park. Tony's like, I'm in Cedar Park. And I was like, no shit, where at? He goes off Lakeline in Cypress Creek. I was like, I'm off Lakeline in Cypress Creek. The dude literally lives like 2 freaking turns away from me for years, right? It was just because I got in a room, and now I have a strategic business partner and syndicate media and all this stuff. But ultimately it was showing up and getting around the right person. But it has to be that shift of your mindset, right? Where, dude, you make that money. Don't keep it so freaking close to the chest. Go reinvest it, right? How much is your business completely and totally changed, Ryan? And I'm sure, Andre, you too, in just reinvesting, right? Like, hey, like, you're not rich, right? And then you just sit on that freaking money when it's like, dude, make your money work for you. Go put that back in and make it work, right?
Well, yeah, and then after you reinvest to a certain point, then you can start buying dumb shit like hyenas and Lamborghinis and Vipers and all sorts of stuff, right? Like that. At some point, you got to have fun with it too, right? When you start making good money, I encourage you to have fun with your money. I am not a all debt is bad debt kind of Dave Ramsey guy. I am like, dude, we are in a commission-based industry to have some fun, man. Like, I'm not gonna work every day to not drive a $200,000 TRX or a $200,000 Lamborghini to work. That's what I want to do. That's why I work.
Put your Lamborghini in the freaking garage when it's snowing, Ryan. I can't watch another video.
Did you see? I was covered in snow the other day. I was like, I know this is gonna get a little bit of hate, so I put it in a Lamborghini group, and they roasted me.
Yeah, roasted. I'm sure they did. Well, we got some great comments going. Let's see here. Let me read through these. Flip, I truly appreciate the depth and clarity of the information you've shared. It's not just insightful, but also thought-provoking, paving the way for meaningful growth and understanding. Thank you, Flip, for that comment. We actually have a question from my wife here for you, Mr. Cicchelli. Now that you're established and recognized as an expert, now that you are the mentor, what do you personally do to stay current and keep growing to avoid becoming a dinosaur in the industry? Where do you go to keep learning?
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. This is the easiest one. I stay in the field. I stay writing. So many people that turn into that dinosaur, they get out of the field and they try to go just perch training. Like anyone that's going to be your mentor or is going to teach you how to do it, and they're not writing 40 million a year like they're teaching you can do, dude, they're either a has-been or they're a wannabe or something of that nature. Like I see so many people like, and this is me, but I look at people that are pushing social media marketing, influencing, and then I go to their social media and it's turd. Like it's bad, right? It's like, well, you can't.
You never use the word turd.
It's like, it's just not good, right? Yeah. So it's like, so I want to learn from someone doing it. So the only reason I stay so relevant in the mentorship side and with the clients is because I'm micromanaging and breaking down the economy every single day. I utilize the resources again. YouTube. I'll give. There's a Lena Penang. She's a CPA. Dude, she gives current. She's out of Canada. She gives current market breakdowns of the U.S. economy and the world economy every day. And so I watch her because I want to learn more about BRICS. Because when a client asks me, am I concerned about BRICS and NATO? I have answers right away because I'm watching 7 different sources on BRICS and NATO. And it's like your average agent that was trying to get one annuity sale a month isn't going to be able to have a conversation on most of the time on BRICS and NATO or the impact of the strength of the dollar right now. Like those are all things that we're able to have that conversation and break it down simply with a mom and pop, someone that owns a farm. So we break it down enough where we're not confusing them. We're not over their head. Like, we just keep it simple, but high level simple. And so if I get out of the field, if I stop writing, you'll slowly see me turn into just the train. I'll probably be retired somewhere, but if I ever start just, training only and I'm not putting up the numbers, I will become irrelevant.
Right. Well, and I think that it's funny you talked about with when you're talking about this information with your clients, it goes back to what you said, turn your confidence into clarity for your clients, right? I think that's so important. This is perfect. It takes me right to where I really wanted to go with it. Again, y'all, this guy's doing 40 million on his own pen. How he stays relevant, how he is able to mentor and coach the way that he does is because he's still doing it himself. He is leading from the front. Yeah. I tell everybody, especially on the property and casualty, like I have my own agency. So when I'm sitting here telling you to do something or I'm giving you a script or we're doing role play or I'm providing advice or insights, it's because I wouldn't ask you to do it if I'm not already doing it myself. Right. And I think that's so important to lead from the front. Even the past few weeks when Merwin wasn't able to make the show with me, it's because, dude, he's out at the freaking CVS running the Medicare booth, right? He don't have to do that. Tony's been in Medicare for freaking 20 plus years. But he's leading from the front. You shouldn't ever ask the agent or somebody on your team to do something that you wouldn't do or something you haven't done. It's so funny. You can spot a corporate guy a mile away, right? It's way easier on the property and casualty side, like especially when I was coming from my captive days, man. Like you could tell. It's like, bro, you are telling me how to do this, and I can tell, like, I don't even know if you have your license, dude. Like, have you ever, you can just spot it a mile away where it's like, you obviously never ran an agency, but you're telling me how to run mine.
I'll tell you a little funny, just a funny thing. You and I have a shared hobby. We both like to have a drink or two. I'm with, this was probably terrible, right? But it's the thought process of like your confidence in the sales mentality and seeing someone corporate. So I'm literally at dinner with Magic Johnson and the president of Equitrust, and they're taking us on this private wine vineyard tour. And I get a little drunk with Magic and the president of Equitrust. I believe his name was Shannon, but Jeff would know his name. But anyways, if the president's still there, he'll remember this too. And I hope to God somehow this reaches him. But I looked at him and I was drunk. I was like, hey man, you know how much money we make writing annuities? And he goes, yeah. I go, why don't you do it? Are you a weak salesperson? Like, you can make so much more money. How much you make a year? And the president of Equitrust is like, I'm not going to answer that. And I was like, man, you can make a lot if you start writing your own product. I was a little drunk. But anyways, I was like, you know how much we make writing annuities? We make a ton. He probably thinks I'm a complete idiot, number one.
He's like, yep, cut the comps. But again, well, and Andre, I want you to kind of maybe take a spin on this. Like, what is really the power behind leading from the front? Like, why is that so valuable? Obviously, again, for staying relevant yourself, making sure you're staying on the horse, right? But also for anybody that maybe is watching or is looking up to you. I will say that too. Guys, if you think there is at least one person watching what you're doing and looking up to you, right? There's always somebody watching, whether it's one or whether it's a lot. I promise you that there is. So don't get that mistake. But what is the power of that to you, Andre?
Yeah, I think people are just motivated by action more than they are words. Ryan, I don't know you, but telling me that you're doing 40 million in business a year, you don't have to say a whole lot more than that for me to understand that you're an expert. If you weren't doing that and you sat here and you were telling me how great you are at writing annuities, but you didn't have any production to back it up, like it doesn't settle the same way.
Right.
So agents are always going to follow what you do, not necessarily what you say, unfortunately. And anytime we saw a dip in our business, whenever I was still in the field, anytime we saw a dip in our business, it was completely correlated to the fact that my business was slowing down, and one of the people just like to be around the fire, man. And if you catch fire, people are going to want to be around that. And the second, as a leader, if you don't have somebody kind of take that baton and become the face of the agency, for them to be the person that's leading from the front so you can work on the business. If you get out of the field, your business is going to suffer, and rightfully so. Agents don't want to be told. They can't just be told. They have to be shown what to do.
Right.
Thankfully, this business is very, very simple. So at any given time, if you want your business to increase your own business, and your agents are going to follow. That's just typically how it goes.
Right. I wanted to kind of towards the end of the show here, Brian, I wanted to kind of give you just the spotlight. And really too, I know that we were talking about, and how many agents that are joined the Moving in Millions, I believe is what it's called, your course. I just want to give you some time to just kind of talk through that. We've had a lot of people live listening. If you guys are catching the replay, don't hesitate to comment or ask any questions. But again, and if you are live, feel free to ask any questions or anything like that. We'll get them answered live on the show. But Ryan, give you a few minutes, man. Just talk about what is the platform, what caused that, right? You're doing 40 million a year, so it's not like you necessarily needed another revenue stream. So what kind of ignited that fire? What caused that? And then ultimately, what is it, and how can agents kind of tap into that?
Yeah, well, I'll kick it off with this. I have roughly 10 minutes, and I have a $200,000 appointment that we got to do. Luckily, it's virtual, so I just got to click screens. But yeah, so what happened, guys, is I've been doing training, and I have closers in house. So we have a very unique program. If you guys see me speak, you know it. Our platinum partnership program is a $100,000 program. To join our team, you come on, you pay $100,000. It's turnkey. You pretty much start making $300,000 to $500,000 a year. We have multiple agents that do that. And because that platform is so high end, I recorded all of our trainings, all of our everything that I would say to the agent in training, I would make a video on. I would literally go out, tell the agent, come in, make the video, upload the video to the video library, and then add a quiz section to it. And so over the course of 3 years, we built out this platform. We just launched it. So the problem with doing it over 3 years is this. You see me skinny, you see me fat, you see me with a beard, you see me without a beard, you see me tan, white. And so there's so many different versions of me on there because it took us 3 years to build. And so I built it for my sales team to be effective and to go in and to access and have Q&A because I am closing, because they can't just walk in the door when I'm on a Zoom and ask a question if a client is on the call. And so, eventually I will be a little more accessible to them, but I am writing the business and staying ahead of the curve so they can see what's possible. And so we put all that together just to be like a virtual library for them with quizzes and documents loaded in. What I realized is we went to one event, and I realized I'm not asking enough for the product. That was very clear. But we went to one event, we spoke, and we had the Moving Millions in Minutes training platform ready, over 200 videos. It's compliance, suitability, underwriting, Roth, non-qualified transfers, 2022 Secures Act, our process of value is the new close, where to buy when, which is super powerful. I spend about $30,000 a month in leads. So it's what leads you should be buying when. And then most carriers won't give, or most lead vendors won't give you the advertising and the scripts to utilize. Because we utilize so many, I actually have the advertising that they're using, and we have scripts to capitalize on it, because a lot of these guys will just sell you leads and there's no training to the leads. There's no training to the script. So we're changing that model. So we actually know. And then if you're new, where you should be putting your money over where you're a senior agent, right? So I'll give you a quick example. Like Cody, if you're a brand new agent, you probably shouldn't buy his leads, right? Annuity leads. If you're a senior agent and you're looking for better quality leads, you should probably buy Cody's leads. If you're a new agent and you're batting 1,000, you need to go to a company like PCG that's real cheap and get 200 leads that you can fumble over instead of messing up higher quality leads. So we have that built in. Another huge problem is people will get the leads and say, I can't get the lead set. There's a process to getting leads set. There's a process of having instant credibility in a short amount of time so that they don't just move on to the next person. We have that all established and built out. We have compliance, suitability, marketing, Facebook marketing, road to becoming an advisor, cross-selling Medicare Life, and then virtual and in person. So over 200 videos. I do a monthly Q&A, live Q&A, and a case design. And then we do micro breakdown the economy. So every month I upload 5 to 6 new videos every month on the economy for new talking points. And then we also have a section in there, how to work your current book. So Medicare agents, AC agents, PNC agents, we can work your book to find annuity business. So this has been super, it's huge. It's been a lead source for us, but the course is $997 for a year. And at the one event, we sold 150 courses in 20 minutes. So
what was that at? Was that at like was that Medicare Con or SWAT or anything?
No, it was an advisor event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Advisors Excel had an event. So we
cool.
So, but you know what I mean? It's ready to go. It's great. It's all vetted by compliance as well. So at the time, I want to say Comstar vetted us. So I was with a different IMO. They vetted us through it, and then we moved to AE because they gave us some incentives. And so, anyways, it's all vetted for compliance and suitability, and so it's huge. So anything we talk about in there, you can utilize. We also have recorded live sales with clients all the way up to the app. So there's multiples of those. So it's powerful, man. It's worth its weight in gold.
Love it, dude. Love it, man. We think you have a lot of freaking comments in here, man. I have to give you one, Andre. I'm surprised he didn't ask us to do it. Where are you at, Murray? There he is. Tell Andre I said what's up. I'm surprised he didn't say dab or it isn't live because he always makes us freaking do that. We got another comment here from Sarah. Thank you, gents, for this conversation, for your time. Going to save and rewatch. Boyfriend and I are transitioning towards working more annuities ourselves. We'll be following you, Ryan. So, well, I guess real quick, Sarah, before you hop off, Ryan, what's the best way for people to kind of reach out, and then we'll start to wrap up here. I know I kind of want to give you some time to get prepped too for closing another freaking annuity. How can people reach out? How can they follow you?
Yeah. We already got everything prepped for this guy. Just follow me on social media. It's Ryan Cicchelli. I think my Instagram, which I'm not on very often, is Cicchelli Ryan. I don't know why that is. But anyways, I'm just on Facebook and Instagram, man. I'm not, I post stories a lot on Facebook. I'll post a lot about the economy. So you can follow us, check us out. And then, my email is literally first name, last name @Gmail. So Ryan Cicchelli @Gmail is my personal email. Just shoot me an email. Say, hey, I got questions on annuities, or I'd like to get on a call. You guys, just because you're watching this and my name's in it, I'm sure the algorithm's going to pick it up and you're going to notice our ads everywhere now. And you're going to be like, I like that Ryan guy until his ad followed me for the next 6 weeks. So, we have active ads running on the annuity platform. And so, we love working with agents. Any agent on the planet can get one 30-minute call with me for free. After that, it's going to cost you.
Yep. Love it. And I promise you guys, the more you spend time with him, the easier it is to pronounce and spell his last name.
Cicchelli. Come on.
Cicchelli, baby. Come on. So real quick, before we wrap up, man, what is next? What's next on the horizon for what you guys got for the annuity expert? Yeah,
no, it's pretty easy for me. Coach Burt talks a lot about your B, and right now my B is just 100 million. That's just my B. I'm going to get to 100 million. I know I already have someone that's talked to me about an exit strategy at 100 million. Brock, it's funny. I like all these big influencers like, Cody and Brock and all these guys that they're all big names in the space. And I don't like some of the things they do, but I respect a lot of what they do. And so his liquidity event really kind of opened my eyes, like good for him. I'm glad he got it. He's on to some, bigger things now. And so, I almost settled for 20 million this year. And I actually had half the money spent in my mind. And, I saw his liquidity event and I saw another liquidity event. And I'm like, man, I'm really undervaluing my business. And so I just said for the next 3 years, I'm going to hone in on building us. And I'm not going to, I'm just going to do this. And then if I can retire by 40 or at least sit back by 40 with a good running team, right. My kids are young. My kids are my world. And so, we got the twins are in AAA travel hockey. We're all over the state. We're actually in Nashville coming up, playing a tournament. My oldest son, Eli, captain football team in high school. Once they hit high school, man, it's like, you can't afford to miss any more time with your kids, right? Mm-hmm. My daughter, her Isabella, the zookeeper TikTok, I think she's hit 75,000 followers now.
Really?
That's awesome. So all these things, I just want milestone. Everything's about my kids now. So, I'm going to get to 100 million these next couple of years. I'm definitely going to mentor a lot of people. I'm going to be at a lot of conferences, but everything right now is geared towards time with my kids.
Yeah, I love that. What's I don't necessarily know on the annuity side. Like, what do exits look like on that side? Like, what are the multiples? And like, I know it's obviously going to be probably way different than property and casualty.
Yeah, so it is way different. That's where, so this is what I'm building now. So a lot of what I've done is my own personal pen to paper. And then my team does write, tens of millions a year as well. What I'm going to do, and this will be a plug for anyone, is over the next 2 years, I'm going to be looking for 5 in-house people that want to make $300,000 a year salary. And there'll be $300,000 a year salary plus 1 to 2% bonus commission. And then the model is I'm going to supply all the leads. I'll have 6 to 7 in-house people writing, making $300,000 to $500,000 a year, and then we will just keep the commission. And that's how you build a scalable model for exit at the 10 to 13 multiple. Is that I have to have 5 to 7 agents comfortable making $300,000 to $500,000 a year. And know kind of what their place is to write the business, and it's not commission driven. Obviously, people will realize the commission's there, so they'll go on to another thing. But if you can average $300,000 to $500,000 or more a year in the insurance space, that provides a really good life for yourself. And you're going to learn a lot of things, even if you're only with us for 2 or 3 years, and then you go on to do annuities. And so I want to build that team out, and that's how I'm going to get to scalability. It's less about what I'm doing, right? Because that was the thing with the offer we got, is I couldn't go nowhere for 5 years. I had to stay writing, and that's not the exit I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree, man. I agree. I love it, dude. Ryan, thank you for your time, brother. Andre, you got any parting words for us, man?
No, man.
Anything for the syndicate?
I'm rooting for you, Ryan. I love hearing your story, and those are some big numbers, and cheering for your exit. And to everybody that's watching this, just remember, success is a choice, just like failure.
Yes, absolutely. Well, happy winning on Wednesday, y'all. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. The comments and the live viewers were popping today. We appreciate you, but don't hesitate if you are catching the replay. You can still ask the questions. We will come back and answer that. Lily did go ahead and drop Ryan's Facebook in there as well, so you guys go follow him, check out his course, maybe tap into some mentorship, right? Or, again, we need to catch back up on working my freaking PNC book, man. I know we've talked about it. We've tried a few things, but we need to circle back to that. So again, Ryan, thank you for your time, man. Again, rooting for you as well. Thank you, Insurance Syndicate. Hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day. You know what day it is. It is winning on Wednesday. It is the peak of the week. Keep the pedal down. Let's finish the week strong. We appreciate you guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. Later.